So, hello, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics Podcast, or SDWT. Today we're going to talk about asking for help, which is indeed something that I've been struggling with, still struggle with to some degree, but I've gotten way better at it. At least I think it is the case. So we're going to start with a quote by Ben Affleck. If you have a problem, getting help is a sign of courage, not weakness or failure. If you notice and understand that there is a point in life or in your life, or maybe kind of a segment of your life where you just need some help, might not be everything, might just be certain parts of your life. We are not good at everything. Nobody's good at everything. Realizing that and dealing with that, this is strength. This really is. Being like, okay, I can do this on my own and fucking it up then probably is just being a fucking douche. And on the other hand, it is very inefficient. Why wouldn't you just ask for help at some point? I don't want you to reach out immediately to somebody else when you're not able to do something, cope with something, or whatever it might be about. I think, at least at my point of view, and I'm not a doctor, I'm nothing, I'm just a person and I do just have an opinion. But I think that trying to solve it on your own is important, because maybe you're gonna do your research and maybe you're gonna go through certain ways in which you could be doing it, and or you also try to do it in those ways, and maybe this person that you're gonna talk to then is gonna point out certain ways, and then you can be like, well, I've already tried this and that one and it really didn't work out for me, and so maybe this other person that is trying to help you asks like, why didn't it work for you? And then you can just work better with the person that is trying to help you, just because you do have some experience and you do have certain points and you have an opinion, and a valuable one. You're not just talking bullshit and whatnot, but you're able to communicate quite well then. So yeah, 4 tips to effectively ask for help and get a yes, by Jeffrey Davis, MA, from the psychologytoday.com site, which is an article posted on February 28th, 2020. If you ever glanced at the acknowledgement section of a good book or listened to an Academy Award acceptance speech, you know that no one achieves great things in a vacuum. Even with these seemingly individual accomplishments, there are countless people behind the scenes offering their skills, insights, and expertise to propel someone else into the limelight. As highly social animals, we humans depend on one another to learn and grow. What's more, research shows that helping others actually makes us feel good, and that generosity is likely an important evolutionary adaptation for our species. If we are hardwired for altruism, why then is it so uncomfortable for us to ask for help? In a society that praises self-help and self-reliance, it is becoming increasingly difficult to us to ask our colleagues, friends, and even our family for the assistance we need. But sometimes it is just like, well, I can't get further and I just need another opinion. It doesn't necessarily have to be like somebody in a physical way helping you, but it might just be about a new idea. It might just be about a new way of seeing something. We as human beings, we often, see things in a certain way and can't get away from that, which is fucking bad. Anyway, so why is asking for help so hard? The primary reason is fear. We fear that we'll be turned down, laughed at, or revealed to be a fraud. Though these fears are usually unfounded, we are loath to ask for help because this seemingly simple act carries a number of high social risks: rejection, vulnerability, diminished status, and the inherent relinquishing of control. In the face of these threats, fear overrides reason, and as studies in neuroscience show, this risk of emotional pain activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. Which is insane, and I think it just clearly then makes sense why it is that hard. Another reason why asking for help seems so hard is that we are pretty terrible at articulating our needs in a way that someone can offer constructive aid. This is particularly due to a cognitive bias that social psychologists call the illusion of transparency, or the mistaken belief that our feelings, thoughts, and needs are obvious to other people, which I'm noticing nearly every day. People thinking, well, this is something obvious and everybody should understand me. But yeah, we all live in a bubble and we all live in our heads and we think about certain things every day. And yeah, it is just us. It should go without saying that in order to receive help, you often have to ask for it. The high stakes and awkwardness of asking in our highly individualistic culture pose obstacles for many of us, but the best way to get more comfortable asking for help is to get better at it. So 4 tips to ask for and get help. The first one is be conscious and specific. And I think the headline says it all. Be specific with what you need and communicate it as clearly as you can so that there's not going to be any time waste. If you're just, especially when you're asking somebody that is pretty low on time and or pretty high in demand, well, it is also good practice. We communicate quite badly very often. I don't want to generalize it. There is a ton of people who are able to communicate pretty well because it is who they are and it is just their skill. It's just what they're good at. Furthermore, be willing to negotiate. Let them decide how much support they can offer and try to find a mutually beneficial situation. Very important, I think, once again, when we are talking to somebody that is very high in demand, like why should this person help us or you? Don't apologize. Don't apologize for asking for help. No one gets excited about a task that the asker feels the need to apologize for. Yeah, just ask for help. The third, make it personal and not transactional. I think make it clear for the other person why this person can help you and why not anybody else. Make your request more personally by explaining why the person's skill or expertise make them uniquely suited to this task. This casts them as a helpful person and not just another person you can resort to for help studies. Yeah. And well, I do want to go through point 4 and then I want to give you my thought there. Follow up with results. Yeah. It's just going to make the other person feel way better if they see and feel and understand that they have been able to help you a great deal. Maybe actually give them something back once again and being like, well, you really did help me. This is something that I want to give you and I really am grateful for your help and the time that you spent with me and also the knowledge that you shared for me. But I think in the end, there's so many things. It boils down to just being empathetic. Think about you being asked for help. In which way would you like to be asked for help? Doesn't necessarily mean that the person that you're asking for is also willing to be asked in this way, but I do think a ton of things like, okay, how can I benefit from it? What can I get out of it? How should it be communicated? Like, I don't want to say obviously, but it makes sense that if you are like, well, you can help me because you're this and that, you have this qualification, you're good at this, and so on and so forth. Like, it just makes sense that the person is more likely to help you than if you're just saying it in this and or in that way. And probably also think about the time you're asking this person. Maybe it's not going to be the early morning. Maybe it's not going to be the late night. Maybe it's not going to be just when they're having lunch, because nobody likes to be disturbed when they're eating, and so on and so forth. Like, there's many things and variables in life that we all understand but often neglect. At least at my point of view, kind of feel that people tend to be doing that. So just be smart about things, just think, I would say. And yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna see you the next time. Bye bye.